to my hoard. Sonic 3 was one of the best, I believe one of the best Sega Genesis games that came out. It sold like a butt ton. But there was a catch with this. This game was so huge, it only had like a small amount of content in it. And people were like, well, this is not cool. Because Sonic 2, I believe, was actually bigger than this. Don't ask me if that's true or not. So what Sega did, this is one of the first that I have known where they made DLC. Because later, I believe next year or something, they made Sonic & Knuckles. Which reminds you, like, hey, this kind of reminds me of a little bit of Sonic 3. But Sega wanted to do something. They wanted to put these two together. How did they make those two together? They had this cartridge slot on the top. So what you do is, you grab your Sonic 3, Sonic & Knuckles, you put it together. This is what Sonic 3 was supposed to be. But there was a little quirks with the other Sonic games. I'll show you right now at the television. Alright, we're here at the Sega Genesis. Now I'll show you Sonic 3 working. And you're... Come on. Ah, Sega. Whatever we ever did to you. Many things. Yeah, and you're like, oh, cool, I'm playing the game. Oh, I guess my battery died. You're like, oh no, I'm playing this game. This game's awesome. And I realized that my right D-pad isn't working. You're like, oh, this is cool. I want to continue with, like, another game. So you turn it off, and you're like, alright, put Sonic Knuckles in. You turn that on. You're like, wow, this looks very similar to... Sonic 3. I wonder if these two actually connect to each other. And I really... Oh my god, the red D-pad's broken. Alright. So you're like, I wonder if these two are connect to each other. So you grab your Sonic 3 and you put it on top of it. Turn that bad boy on. And now when you turn it on, it says Sonic 3, and then on the bottom it says, and Knuckles. So you're like, oh, what, Knuckles? And now it has the full experience. You can play all the stages of Sonic 1, all the stages from Sonic 3 and Knuckles all in one go. I can so tell, my D-pad's broken. But you all know the gist. But you're like, what if, take Sonic 3 out, what if you put Sonic 2 inside? But you get a little surprise when you do. When you get, see, now you get Sonic the Hedgehog with Knuckles the Echidna. So you can play the whole Sonic 2 with Knuckles. Knuckles is a little different. He can glide. He can glide and climb up walls if we can get to... Shut up. If we can find a wall. Yeah, there it is. So you can climb up walls as Knuckles. That's cool. But you're like, oh, cool. So in theory, you're like, oh, sweet. I could play Sonic 1 on with Knuckles Sauce. That would be sweet. You turn on and you're like, oh my goodness, it's actually going to happen. And it just says a bunch of no ways. Oh, yeah. If you hold down all three buttons, I believe, you can hit start. And you can play a shit ton of Blue Fair stages. Oh, I forgot the D-pad button. Why am I going backwards? So, I believe there's like over 100,000 different versions of this, but I personally don't know. So we'll go back to the couch and do a conclusion on this. And there you go. Sonic and Knuckles is actually really useful if you're a really big fan of Sonic games. You can play Knuckles in Sonic 2, or if you want thousands of hours of fun, you can stick like Sonic 1 into that, so you get a shit ton of blue sphere stages. How about that? I don't know the going rate for this. I got for Sonic and Knuckles. I only got it for like $12, like fuck all years ago. But yeah, those are the days before I like to call physical DLC.